Hello everyone, before we take the final dive into the considerations regarding catastrophic disclosure, I wanted to provide a brief summary on the UAP related news currently circulating around, as there should be some exciting times ahead. But before that, thank you all for your support, subscribes, likes and shares. I thought it may be a good call to make a recap video as there is a number of things to await in the nearby future. First and foremost, with the Northern Hemisphere going on summer holidays in general, we are awaiting the release of Lou Elizondo's book, imminent. I have provided a summary of a leak from that book not long ago, and with the full text available soon, expectations and curiosity are on the rise. From the potential descriptions of biology and physiology of grey aliens through the crash retrieval program to more spiritual aspects of the phenomenon, things are shaping up to be interesting indeed. Next, we had a teaser provided by the Republican representative in the US Congress from Florida, Anna Paulina Luna, who mentioned that once the Congress is back in full swing after the summer period, we should expect another UAP hearing like the famous one we had last year. The hearing is supposed to take place in late September or October as things stand. Unfortunately, we did not get to know who the witnesses would be this time around. Speculations say we may get a first-hand witness. The name of Colonel Carnell floats around, and I also recall Rear Admiral Tim Gallaudet willing to testify before the Congress as well. Recently, we saw a long interview with Matthew Pines, a senior intelligence specialist and a national security fellow at the Bitcoin Policy Institute. As a person heavily involved in market intelligence and forecasting, he is at the spearhead of any and all major news, and in a podcast published by the What Bitcoin Did channel on YouTube, he had a long section dedicated to UAPs and the potential impact of disclosure on the global economy and our civilization as a whole. He said that he is at least 95% sure that non-human intelligence is indeed real and has followed the subject ever since the proposed Schumer-Rance amendment to the 2024 NDAA Act last year. He did mention non-human biologics, which were somewhat in line with the famous Fortune leak, which I should hopefully cover soon in a separate video. For 2024, he mentioned the upcoming Lou Elizondo's book, two documentaries and a known person which we should be familiar with from the news coming forth as a witness or as an experiencer. These news tied into speculations regarding the long-awaited movie representation of Betty and Barney Hill's abduction titled White Mountains, which is being produced in cooperation with Netflix by a studio with involvement of none others than the former US presidential couple, Michelle and Barack Obama. President Obama has long been rumored to have been read into the UAP information by the secret services and could indeed be one of the potential well-known witnesses coming forth. Other candidates include President Clinton, John Podesta, the former advisor to Hillary Clinton, Admiral Wilson from the famous Wilson-Davis Memorandum, Avril Haines, and even President Carter, although the latter is fairly improbable due to his age and health. One of the two documentaries would be the one produced by James Fox, a long-standing believer in the UAPs, and his hints and information provided over the course of this year explicitly mentioned the involvement of at least one, possibly two, first-hand witnesses to the program working with non-human craft and possibly biologics. In other news, we have the thus far ultimate whistleblower David Grush suing the local county's sheriff office for damage in relation to his medical record being leaked, including private information regarding his health, which can possibly make finding work in the future more difficult for him. Said compensation would cover the possible inability to find employment in the future until the retirement age, with the most frequently mentioned amount being $2.5 million and some sources going up to as high as $10 million. And not surprisingly, David Grush received mostly overwhelming support from the UAP community as a whole. On the science front, we have the continued research on the Nazca mummies or bodies. We have just seen two new specimens presented for the first time. DNA results are underway, and as I have mentioned in the last video on the mummies, the larger, more human-like finds would be tied to our phylogenetic and evolutionary tree of life, possibly as a new clade, according to the hints dropped so far. The public face promoting the Nazca mummies, Mexican journalist Jaime Maussan, has recently visited the US Congress and talked to the Republican representative from Tennessee, Tim Burchett, who has been at the forefront of the UAP investigation and oversight for a while now. The talks were apparently related to securing possible further research opportunities on the mummies in the United States. The next video will land just before I go on a short holiday break. We will cover catastrophic disclosure and its potential impact in it. And then it's likely we will dive straight into the possible revelation from the imminent book. Until then, take care, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one.